Hello everyone, my name is Chandra Prakash Bhavana and today I want to discuss an interview in a company called NIC and the company location is New Delhi and the interview date was the 31st January 2023. So they asked me what is the normalization. So normalization refers to organizing a database columns, rows and tables to minimize data redundancy. Then I said I am most familiar with the first three normalization forms. The first is about the eliminating repetitive groups, and the second is for eliminating redundant data. The third normalization form is about eliminating the columns that don't depend a key on a key. Some others I know of are the Boyce code, optimal, and domain key forms. Question number three, they asked me joins. So SQL joins are used to combine rows from two or more tables based on a related column between them. So inner join returns only the rows where there is a match in both the tables. So the query is select employees.id as employee ID, employees.name as employee name, departments.department name as department from employees, inner join departments on employees.department underscore ID equal to departments.id. Left outer join returns all rows from the left table and matched rows from the right table. If there is no match, null values are returned for columns from the right table. So the query is select employees ID as employee ID, employees.name as employee name, departments.department name as departments from employees, left join departments on employees.department underscore ID equal to departments.id. Third is the right outer join. Returns all rows from the right table and matched rows from the left table. If there is no match, null values are returned for columns from the left table. So the query is select employees.id, employees.name, departments.department name from employees, right join departments on employees.department underscore ID equal to departments.id. Full outer join returns all rows from both the tables. If there is no match, null values are returned for the column from the table that doesn't have a match. So the query is select employees.id as employee ID, employees.name as employee name, departments.department name as departments from employees, left join departments on employees.department underscore ID equal to departments.id. Union select employees.id as employee ID, employees.name as employee name, departments.department name as departments from employees, right join departments on employees.department underscore ID equal to departments.id. Default join, if you simply use the keyword join without specifying a type, SQL assume it's an inner join. So default join, that is inner join. Select orders.order ID, customers.name from orders, join customers on orders.customer underscore ID equal to customer.customer ID. So the result would be order ID and name. And okay. Now the question number 4, they ask me why would use a full outer join? What is the need of the full outer join? So and full outer join is a method of combining tables so that the result includes unmatched rows of both tables. If you are joining two tables and want the result set to include unmatched rows from both the tables, use a full outer join clause. Question number 5, stored procedure elaborate. A stored procedure is a prepared SQL code that you can save so that the code can be reused over and over again. So if you have an SQL query that you write over and over again, save it as a stored procedure and then just call it to execute it. So example, create procedure get employees begin select star from employees and delimiter call to stored procedure call get all employees. Third is the functions. They ask me function. So string functions used for string manipulation. So functions are like the concat, length, upper, lower, substring, trim, replace. Numeric function used for the mathematical calculation. This is the ABS. This returns the absolute value. Seal, round the nearest integer. Floor, round down the nearest integer. Round a number to a given decimal. SQRT, POW, MOD. Third is the date and time function used to work with dates and time. Now, cur date, cur time, date underscore add, date underscore sub, date if, dated if, and year. Fourth is the aggregate group function used with group by. So count, sum, AVG, max, min. Fifth is the control flow function used for conditional logic. If, case, null if, and call ESCE. Sixth is the JSON function. So JSON object, JSON array, JSON extract. Seventh is the other useful function. UUID version user. So run the following query to see some function in action. So select now as current time, length hello as string length, SQRT49 as SQRT underscore root. So the output would be current date. It will show first the 2025 and whatever is the current date. Then string length and then a square root. Fourth is the difference between the stored procedure and function in MySQL. The next question they asked me. Okay. So a stored procedure is a set of SQL statements that perform a specific task and can return multiple values. A function is a single SQL statement or a set of statements that return a single value. Return type. Stored procedure can return multiple values using the out parameters, while function always return a single value. Usage. Used for stored procedure used for complex business logic, operations and automation. Functions used mainly for the calculation and returning a single computed value. Call syntax called using call procedure name parameters, and a function called within SQL queries using the select function name. So can be used in select statement. Procedure no. Stored procedure cannot be used inside a select statement, while function can be used inside a select statement. Can have input output parameters. Stored procedure yes. Support in out and in out parameters, while function only in the parameter are allowed. Can execute YAML statements, insert, update, delete. So stored procedure yes. A procedure can modify database tables, while function limited. A function cannot modify table directly. Transaction support control. Support transaction control commit rollback in the case of the stored procedure, while in the function does not support the transaction control. Stored in database in the database. Yes, both stored procedure and function. Stored procedure are used save in the database, and function are also stored in the database. Can use loop and cursors. So stored procedure yes. Support loops, while loop, repeat and cursor. Function no. Function do not support loops or cursors. Performance impact retrieval. Faster for bulk processing and complex tasks in the stored procedure, while in the case of the function faster for simple calculation or data. Best use case. Stored procedure used when we need to execute multiple SQL statements together and return multiple values. And function used when we need to return a single computed value inside a query. So example of stored procedure: create procedure get employee In imp id int begin select star from employees where id equal to imp id and delimiter calling the procedure colon call get employee. Example of function delimiter create function get employee salary imp id int return decimal 10 comma 2 deterministic. Now begin declare salary decimal 10 comma 2 select salary into salary from employees where id equal to imp underscore id return salary and delimiter calling the function colon select get employee salary 101. So key takeaways. Used store procedure when you need to perform complex operations and modify the database. Use functions when you need to return a single value inside a query. So how many years of experience on which technology they ask me, on which website you have worked on, which part of the website you worked on, such kind of question they asked me. Now, next question they ask me write down the database query for search. So select star from customers where customer name like a ampersand. Okay. So step by step is view all data in a table. First of all, this is select star from customers. Now find customer whose name start with A. So select star from customer where customer name like A and then ampersand. If you are using ampersand post the A, then it would be for the find customer whose name start with A. Second, find customer whose name ends with T. So select star from customers where customer name like ampersand T. Now query, find customer whose name contains M anywhere. So select star from customers where customer name like ampersand M ampersand. Seventh, query, find customer whose name has exactly 5 letters and start with A. Select star from customers when customer name like A and then underscores 5 underscore. Now the fifth question they asked me views in database. So in SQL, a view is a virtual table based on a result set of an SQL statement. A view contains rows and columns. Just like a real table, the fields in a view are filled from one or more real tables in the database. So the key points are virtual table. A view does not store data itself, it stores the SQL query that generates the data. Based on a query, it creates using a select statement that pulls data from one or more tables. So no data storage, a view does not store data, it shows a dynamic result set based on the underlying tables. Why do we use views? Simply complex query. You can store complex joins and query as views and then access them like simple tables. Improve security. By restricting access to the certain columns or tables, you can create views that only show the necessary data. Data abstraction. Views provide an abstraction layer, meaning the underlying table structure can change without affecting how users interact with the data. In SQL, views are typically read-only, but in certain cases, you can update a view. However, there are limitations depending on the complexity of the view and the database you are using. When can you update a view? Or can you update a view? So the view is based on a single table. The view does not include any aggregation. For example, group by, no joins, no distinct, and no subquery in the select statements. All the columns of the views are updatable, meaning the underlying table allows modification through the view. So when can't you update a view? You cannot update a view if it involves multiple tables. For example, joins between tables. It uses aggregate function like sum count. So you can't update the view. Also, it includes distinct group by or complex subquery. In this case, also you cannot update a view. The view is based on a computed or derived column. Example, concat or case expression. So in summary, yes, you can update views if they are simple, single table, no joins, no aggregation. For more complex view, join subquery aggregation, you cannot directly update them. Question number 6, they asked me binary tree. So a binary tree is a structure where each node has at most two children, a left and a right child. What are types of binary trees? So full tree, every node have 0 or 2 children. Complete tree, all levels filled except last, which is filled left to the right. Perfect tree, all internal nodes have 2 children and all leaves are at the same level. BST, that is binary search tree, left root right. Balanced tree, height difference between left and right is at most 1. What is in order, pre-order and post-order? In order, left root right, pre-order root left right, post-order left right root. So real use of binary tree, used in searching, sorting, expression trees and memory storage like heaps. Question number 7, they ask me hashing techniques. So hashing is a technique to convert a key into an index using a hash function to store the retrieved data quickly. Why hashing? It gives fast access to the data, usually O1 time for insert, delete and search. What is collision? When two keys get the same hash index, it is called collision. How to handle collision? Hashing techniques. Chaining. Store multiple elements at the same index using a linked list. So hash table equal to empty square bracket. Insert data into hash table. Function insert table key value index equal to CRC32 keys %10. If not set table index, then $table index equal to empty array. Then outside the loop, table index equal to key value. Now return table. Open addressing. Find another empty slot in an array. Hash table equal to array fill 0, 10, null. Function insert $table key value. So index equal to CRC32 key %10. Original index equal to $index, while table index not double equal to null. $index equal to index plus 1 %10. If $index triple equal to original index, echo table is full. Return $table. Now outside the while loop, $table index equal to key value and return $table. Linear probing, they ask me. Quadratic probing, they ask me. So what is the concept? If collision occurs, check slot of interval of I square, index plus 1 square, index plus 2 square, etc. Use cases, avoids clustering like in linear probing. $hash table equal to array fill 0, 10, null. Function insert $table key values. Index equal to CRC32 keys %10, $I equal to 1, while $table index not equal to null. Index plus $I into $I %10, $I plus plus. So $table index equal to key values. Return table. What is double hashing concept? Use a second hash function to determine the step size of probing. Use cases. Reduce clustering compared to the linear and quadratic probing. Hash table equal to array underscore fill 0, 10, null. Function primary hash key. Return CRC32 key %10. Function secondary hash key. Return 7 minus CRC32 key %7. Function insert $table key value. Index equal to primary hash $key. Step size equal to secondary hash $key. Original index equal to $index. While $table index not equal to null. Index plus index equal to index plus step size %10. If $index triple equal to original index, echo table is full. return dollar table, and outside the while loop, dollar table index equal to key values and return tables. Question number 8, they asked me SQL injection. So SQL injection is a code injection techniques that might destroy your database. SQL injection is the placement of malicious code in SQL statements via web page input. So student ID, and the student enters the following in the input field 1223344 or 1 equal to 1. So this basically translates to select star from student where student ID double equal to 1 2 3 4 5 or 1 equal to 1. Now this 1 equal to 1 will return all records of which this holds true. So basically all the student data is compromised. Now the malicious user can also delete the student record in a similar fashion. The next question they asked me asset property. So asset property, A for atomicity, all or nothing. Definition: a transaction is treated as a single unit, meaning either all of its operations are executed or none are. For example, if a transaction involves transferring money from one account to another, both the debit from one account and the credit to the other must succeed. If one fails, the entire transaction is rolled back, ensuring no partial update. Second is a consistency, that is valid state. Definition: a transaction takes the database from one valid state to another valid state. It ensures that the rules and the constraints of the database, such as foreign key checks, etc., are always maintained. Example: if a rule says that balance in an account cannot be negative, a transaction that tries to withdraw more money than the available balance will fail, keeping the data consistent. Third is the isolation, that is independent execution. Definition: transactions are excluded in isolation, meaning that the operations of one transaction are not visible to others until the transaction is complete. This ensures that transactions do not interfere with each other. For example, if two users try to transfer money from same account simultaneously, isolation ensures that the final result is correct as if they were processed one after the other, even if they proceed at the same time. Fourth is the durability, that is permanent. Definition: once a transaction is committed, its changes are permanent. Even in the case of system crash or failure, the database ensures that the changes are returned to the volatile storage like a disk. For example, if a transaction to transfer money is committed and the system crashes afterward, the transaction's effects money transfer will still be preserved when the system recovers. So, in summary, atomicity, everything happens or nothing happens. Consistency, data moves from one value state to another. Isolation, transactions don't affect each other's operations. Durability, once a transaction is completed, its changes are permanent. So, this was the interview in a company called NIC, and the interview date was the 31st January 2023, and the company location was the New Delhi. So I will share more interview question with you. Till then, bye.